talent, but a lot of teams have talent. It was that they played together, they loved each other, and they really were a family. Really were. Chris, you've covered college football for a very long time. I watched the interview, the press conference yesterday from Maryland, where the president and AD spoke about the player that passed away tragically after a workout, and the president, and it's something I just haven't seen. The president said that Maryland takes legal and moral responsibility for what happened, and apologizing to the family there. I'm not gonna lie, I teared up, I cried because I just couldn't imagine losing a child, and I cried losing teammates like Daniel Brooks and Jesse Mahalona. Your thoughts on that situation there at Maryland?
Well, I thought what you saw was the president being presidential and saying, listen, it's not us. We own it. As an institution, as a university, we failed this kid, probably in a number of different areas. When things like this happen, Jason, in my world, there's so many questions that are asked. Who dropped the ball? What's going to happen to the head coach? Is there a bigger issue with off-season strength and conditioning? I go back to that family, that kid. A young kid playing college football, dying in off-season drills, and that just shouldn't happen. It just should not, never should happen. But certainly not now with all the precautions and the technology. Football, you played, is such a tough, physical, violent sport. And it's a game played by men. And every coach out there wants a tough football team who's in unbelievable shape. They want to push that team to the limit before the season because they want to know what they got, quite frankly, before they get into those games. But there's a line there you can't cross. And the game and society, thankfully, is different than it was when I grew up, probably when you grew up. I can remember the big guys not being able to finish sprint. The linemen, they'd make them roll to the finish line. Can you imagine that happening now?
Yeah.
In this day and age?
Well,
we get salt tablets. Water was seen as a sign of weakness if you needed water in practice. Back in the 70s and 80s, back in the prehistoric ages when I was in school. But thankfully, we passed that. But that's my overall thought is the McNair kid and his family and losing him senselessly at such a young age. And listen, I'm not going to point. I don't know all the details. I know some of the things that's alleged. There's always two sides to every story. But clearly, we have to do better. And if the strength and training staff dropped the ball and did not have this kid's safety or did not follow proper protocol, then that's something they're all going to have to live with. And I think the Maryland president would go back and listen to his comments and say, hey, we didn't do everything we could. Because, we're all out here to, it's competitive, we want to win, but the first priority, every coach that ever goes into a kid's home, when you were recruited at a high level, tells that kid's parents and grandparents that, listen, I'm going to take care of your son.
mm-hmm.
I'm going to make sure he graduates. I'm going to take care of him. I'm going to watch after him. I'm going to push him. I'm going to challenge him. I'm going to help him become a young man. And you go into somebody's home and tell them that. The first thing, the number one thing, is just you're going to make sure they're safe.
Yeah.
And that didn't happen in this case.
Chris, over the last couple of years, the Big Ten has had several scandals: Michigan State, Ohio State, Penn State, so on and so forth. Does the Big Ten have a cultural problem, or is it just kind of just bad luck from a conference perspective?
You're right. It's been a horrible run of scandals in the Big Ten. From the awful deal at Michigan State, Nassau, and this with Maryland, and the turnover stuff at Penn State. You got what's going on with Urban Meyer being on leave. I don't think it's just the Big Ten. You go back and a lot of schools around the country have issues, but the types of off-field stuff. I mean, you go back, look at what happened at Baylor, when Art Rawls was there. The sexual assault, domestic abuse, kids dying in off-season workouts, that to me is at a whole different level than, kids being paid or agent involvement. I mean, that's the kind of stuff that, I think it's more, sadly, I think it's more a reflection on society now. I'll tell you this. I've had the pleasure the last week to sit down with three of the greats, Steve Spurrier, Bobby Bowden, and Coach Tom Osborne yesterday. I'm still in Nebraska. And I asked them about some of these things, some of the things that have happened, the domestic abuse, the heightened awareness, thankfully, in our country, and domestic abuse and sexual assault, and some of the things that have happened at schools along those lines. And Coach Osborne and Coach Bowden at length talked about something, and I agree with them, that at the root of a lot of these things is the decay of the American home. And I don't want to, again, I'm telling you what they said. I don't want this to sound like I'm preaching, but I agree with them. Coach Bowden said, Chris, the last 10 years, and Coach Osborne sort of echoed this yesterday, when I go on to recruit these kids, it was stunning how many of them didn't have a dad or a male figure in the home. That just didn't, that it was some sweet grandmother or mom or doing their best to raise them. I mean, those kids always were sometimes the hardest to discipline. They didn't accept a discipline as well. They had trouble associating with authority figures once they got on the campus. Some of them have demons in their past, but that's the part I think that changed the most. It's not just athletic. Is there's so many kids now that are coming up that aren't raised in two-parent homes. And that doesn't mean they can't overcome it. It doesn't mean the parent, if it's a single dad or a single mom, isn't doing a great job with it. But I do think when you talk to some of these coaches who've seen it sort of run the gamut, like Coach Bowden and Coach Osborne, and did it for so long and see it evolve, that they have a keen perspective on that. And I think that's a part of this. I think, unfortunately, a part of what we're seeing. And Coach Osborne has a mentoring program now. He's got nearly 9,000 kids. He travels around, recruits mentors, raises money for kids who need a male figure, a male mentor in their life. And that's something that's very near and dear to his heart. But I think that's you start looking at some of these awful, tragic things that are happening. I think that's one of the pieces of the puzzle that's missing.
Chris Lowe here on the Swain event. His article there at utsports.com. Please, please, please go check it out. It is called Undefeated and Unmatched, remembering the 98 national champions, and this team will be honored at the Florida game this year. Chris, it's always a pleasure, my friend, to talk to you and have a conversation with you here on the show.
Same here, Jason, and I tell you, when you go over to Dead End this week, tell George hello for me, and make sure you deliver brisket for me.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. I got you, man. I know you're hitting the road. I know you're traveling, so whenever you're in town, we got to get over there and break some bread. So, Chris, thanks so much for your time. I really appreciate you, man. CeeLo, ESPN on Twitter is where you can find Chris. Chris' time here on the Swain Events brought to you by Tennessee Regenerative Sports Medicine, where they specialize in regenerative, non-surgical orthopedics. They treat damaged ligaments, tendons, and joints, including rotator cuff surgery, knee instability, elbow and foot problems by injecting the stem cells and also doing PRP, which is called platelet-rich plasma. And this form of treatment is under ultrasound guidance, and you can learn more by visiting trsportsmedicine.com. So very, very beneficial procedure there at Tennessee Sports Medicine, Tennessee Regenerative Sports Medicine. And I'm a living testimony. Ankle injury, knee injury. I've had both ligaments worked on at Tennessee Regenerative Sports Medicine, and I can tell you it absolutely works. No surgery, not down for any extended amount of time, and we're seeing more and more of those type of techniques used at the pro level and more of it used at the college level. That is Tennessee Regenerative Sports Medicine, trsportsmedicine.com. Swain event, be right back.
If you love the Swain event and you want more of the show every day, you can now get it with Swain Event Plus. Swain Event Plus features exclusive, in-depth interviews with former Vols.
She saved my life. I probably would have never made the comments, man.
I looked at him and said, Coach, no disrespect. I'm going to Tennessee. I'm going to play in the SEC.
With Swain Event Plus, you can also get access to the exclusive podcast Real on the Hill with Tennessee media legend John Bryce.
What is going on there with that battle?
I had lunch with some folks over the course of this past week who indicated some inside the program believe that Jarrett Garantano is really ready to take that next step.
So go to SwainEventPlus.com right now to sign up and check out all of the amazing extras that you can get. That's SwainEventPlus.com. Get more.
Touchdown or turnover is up next on the Swain event.
Get ready for a better school year by shopping the back-to-school sale at Better Mattress happening now. Whether you're a parent or a student, you know a good night's sleep makes a difference in your day. Whether it's the patience to sit in school traffic or the concentration you need to pass your test, a better night's sleep is super important for the whole household. Right now, choose a twin, full, or queen bundle deal, all starting at just $379. The back-to-school bundle deal from Better Mattress is everything you need in one stop for a better night's sleep. Get a mattress, box spring, frame, sheets, and a memory foam pillow, all delivered for free, starting at just $379. You choose the size twin, full, or queen, the price stays the same. We know one size doesn't fit all. Over a dozen different mattresses qualify for this offer. Have a better school year this year. Get the Better Mattress back-to-school bundle deal while supplies last. Tell them Seth sent you and ask to try my mattress. Don't wait, shop now. Chat live with a representative at bedrmattress.com. Good night just got better.
When I made the move to my own studio, I was worried about this. I was worried about that. I was worried about, hey, did I get this piece of equipment? Did I get that piece of equipment? Does that sound good? Does that not sound good? One thing I didn't have to worry about, that was office furniture, because Office Furniture Outfitters met my furniture needs. With a 50,000 square foot facility, they have East Tennessee's largest selection and are the best value for new and used office furniture. Located in Knoxville, it's easy to find everything you need for your new space, including desks, file cabinets, chairs, conference tables, and more. Office Furniture Outfitters is turnkey. They came to my place, we mapped everything out that was needed, they delivered, and get this, set everything up. To learn more about what Office Furniture Outfitters can do for you, log on to OFOKnox.com. That's OFOKnox.com.
All right, team, listen up. It's tailgating time again in Tennessee. But most importantly, team, you're going to need to refi that tailgate and the truck it's attached to with a refinanced auto loan with Alcoa 10 Federal Credit Union with their Got That promotion. They'll give you up to $500 for your debt. Are you serious, Coach? That's right, Johnny. Alcoa 10 will pay you up to $500 for your debt. Now, let's get out there and spread the word. Say it with me. Alcoa 10, Alcoa 10, Alcoa 10.
ATFCU is an equal housing lender.
Touchdown or turnover is backed by Alcoa 10 Federal Credit Union, a place where you belong.
Touchdown or turnover backed by Alcoa 10 Federal Credit Union, a place where you belong. Better rates and better service. ATFCU is their website there. I want to make this touchdown turnover about A.J. Johnson too. We saw some photos from Broncos camp of some rookies with the George Jefferson haircut. I remember when Tim Tebow had it a couple years ago, but this is a part of the rookie hazing that takes place. in the NFL. Touchdown turnover. A.J. Johnson signed with the Denver Broncos. He is technically a rookie. Do you think he will be hazed as a rookie with the Denver Broncos? Touchdown turnover.
Touchdown. And I know that there's some sentiment yesterday that AJ has already been hazed. He doesn't need to be hazed. Well, while that is true to a certain extent, if I'm AJ, I want to be hazed. Let me forget about what's happened the last 4 years. Let me get back to being a football player, and part of being a football player is going through the tradition of being hazed. So I think he will. If I'm the Broncos defensive leaders, if I'm Von Miller, I'm not letting anybody touch AJ's dreads. AJ's dreads are like vibranium.
Yes.
That's his superpowers. It fuels him. The energy goes through each and every
Samson.
part of the dreads. So you can't mess with the dreads. So I say touchdown. I think AJ will be hazed in other ways, carrying shoulder pads, helmets, the simple stuff. And if I'm AJ, I want that to happen. I want to get back to normal.
Yeah, I completely agree. It's a touchdown for me. He should be he shouldn't be handled with kids' clothes just because he's had a hard 4 years. He's still new to the league, and he's just at this point just your normal rookie showing up. And I think, yeah, if you're AJ, you want to be treated like that. You don't want to be handled, oh, well, but he had this whole no, just treat me like a normal guy, and that, at least in that situation, I have to feel like that's what he would prefer.
Yeah, I mean, I know he would want to be treated like a normal guy and be just one of the guys. That's something you miss being away from the game, is that camaraderie, that locker room. And yes, he would probably want to be hazed. The leaders on that team, the veterans in each room, do they feel like they need to do it? If I was on that team, man, I would I would look at AJ and go, man, AJ puts everything in perspective. He is going to treat each play like it's his last. He's been waiting 4 years for this opportunity. And one verdict could have went the other way, and he could have not been a free man. So, yes, AJ probably wants to be hazed and wants to be treated like a normal player. But what will Von Miller do? What will those guys do in their locker room? Do they treat him different because of what he went through? That's my question. I'm going to say touchdown. I think carrying pads is a part of the hazing. It is part of kind of the culture tradition at the NFL. When you have rookies, they do that. So I just hope they don't mess with his dreads, man. It takes a whole lot of time to grow those and maintain those and make sure that they're looking nice. And I would hate for someone to do something to those dreads. They need to color them. If they're gonna do anything, if you're gonna do anything to AJ's dreads, how about you dye them like a crazy color? And you could always dye that back.
Yeah, and AJ would probably like that. When he was at Tennessee, if I remember correctly, he dyed his tips orange.
Yeah,
and they look like red hot Cheetos.
Yeah.
So that's probably something AJ would like. They should dye them orange, Denver Bronco orange. You know how cool that would be to see Denver? He'd have Cheetos coming out of the back of his helmet.
If I was on that team, I would probably dye them rainbow. I would, because that's.
This may be
I would dye them rainbow.
This is an interesting question, but can you do that in today's climate?
Are you appropriating culture if you do that?
I could see some people being offended by that, unfortunately.
And Denver is a progressive stronghold. I mean, it's very liberal. Yeah. So,
hey, say what you want, man. Like I can't wear different colors at the same time now. I mean, like I can't. I saw some tennis shoes that had all the colors and the color wheel on them, so I can't wear a bunch of colors at the same time because of gay community.
I agree with you. I'm just saying there will be people out there who will not be in favor of it.
As long as no one's being disrespected, which coloring A.J. Johnson's dreads all different type of colors is not disrespectful at all. If you get offended by that,
I agree.
Then you need to go stand in the corner, and
reevaluate.
Up. Like you sensitive. You're getting triggered way too easily. You get offended too easily. But if I was administering the hair dyeing, I wouldn't let AJ slide with just one color. I would do multiple colors. Pink and red and yellow. I wanted it to look crazy because I couldn't cut another man's dreads. That's just wrong.
No,
that's just I couldn't do that, man. That takes a long time.
That's not hazing. That's bullying.
Yeah, that's just too much.
That's torture.
Man. That's too much. That's too much.
We can get Skittle flavors.
Yeah,
we'll just in honor of Skittles.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm sure Marshawn Lynch, or we could get Alvin to hook him up with the Airhead flavors.
Do that. Yeah, do that. So I think he will be hazed. I think it'd be really cool to see that happen.
Some of those haircuts were awful. It looked like wild hyenas.
It was brutal.
It was hilarious.
Did y'all ever do that to folks' hairs?
No. I think it was my senior year. I think, it was my junior year. It was the first year that we kind of stopped doing that stuff and did like talent shows and stuff like that. I never made someone hold my pads at all. My freshman year, I went through it, a little hazing, and then my sophomore year, I didn't go through it on either side. I didn't really want to participate. I thought it was funny, but I didn't really want to participate. And then my senior year, we didn't do it at all. So
y'all got in trouble, didn't you? And kind of had to put a stop to it.
I don't think it was trouble. I think you saw what was happening around college football, the landscape, and with fraternities and stuff like that. And I think Coach Fulmer just saw how it can get out of hand and how someone can get hurt, or how you can have a potential lawsuit if something happens. And he just encouraged us to find other ways. And we did the talent show. So I don't think anyone got like in trouble. Of course, people, every class is going to get mad and not want to do it because they still think they're a 5-star. It's like, no, man, you're not a 5-star anymore. And the way it was before was anyone new to the organization. It doesn't matter if you're a coach, a trainer, or strength conditioning coach, or a player, you went through hazing. So I remember when Trooper Taylor, his first year in 2004, he went through hazing. Everyone does it. It's kind of just a initiation thing. It's fun. But it can go too far. We've seen stories of young people losing their lives because it went too far. And so you just want to make sure it doesn't happen. And the way that you make sure it doesn't happen is just don't do it. So
I like the talent shows. I saw obviously I followed the Steelers on Twitter, and they put out a video of their little talent show. And they had a bunch of rookies redo the scene from Black Panther where the people from the mountain come down and he's got the X. Wakanda. Or Khalil McKenzie does a good, I forget the guy's name, but does a good.
He looks just like him.
Imitate, yes, that too.
Yeah, he looks just like him.
I'm a fan of the talent shows because I'd rather be hazed than have to get up there and sing in front of my teammates. Quite frankly, that's more intimidating and embarrassing than being thrown in a pool or tied up to a goalpost or having to carry shoulder pads. Or now, I would say I would not want to have my hair cut the way that those gentlemen had their hair cut.
Yeah, there's been there's been guys tied to the goalpost, shaving cream, and sprayed on them, water, jelly. All kind of crazy stuff has happened, over the years in football. So let's see what happens with old AJ if he goes through that.
I think we should haze on the Swain event. We'll get Todd Charlie up to the desk or something.
Everybody's been here long enough. Hour 3, around the corner, 8:50 a.m., 100.9 FM. Swain event fueled by Dead End Barbecue, top 100 barbecue restaurant in America. Be right back.
For what is coming up on the Swain event.
There's a 20% chance of rain today, mostly sunny with a high of 87 and a low of 68. Tomorrow, another 20% chance, sunny, hot, and windy with a high of 90 and a low of 70. Friday, the chance of rain increases to 50%, mostly cloudy with a high in the lower 80s. Weather on the Swain event is brought to you by B-Dry. If your basement is wet or cracked, B-Dry can help. BDry.com. Do you have cracks in your foundation? A wet basement or a nasty, leaky crawl space? Our listeners have heard about them on the Swain event for over a year, and now it's time to make the call. Give B-Dry Waterproofing and Foundation Repair the opportunity to fix your home's problem. Since 1958, that's right, nearly 60 years, B-Dry has been solving basement, crawl space, and foundation problems throughout the country. B-Dry only uses high-quality materials from reputable manufacturers. They back their installations with some of the best warranties in the industry to provide homeowners with added peace of mind. They are truly an A-plus company. Whenever you start experiencing a wet basement, leaky crawl space, or a cracked foundation, remember these 3 words: better call B-Dry. Reach out to B-Dry today at 865-662-5238 to schedule your free appointment. That's 865-662-5238. Remember, better call B-Dry.
We have all made the mistake of dropping or breaking our smartphones. See? But did you know that you can have it repaired for a fraction of the cost that it takes to replace it? Well, you can, because iDrop is the area's leading mobile repair store, home of the 1 hour or less phone repair, 1-year parts warranty, and #1 customer service. Broken screens, cracked cameras, charging ports, batteries, you break it, we'll fix it. If you didn't break your phone, protect it with one of our leading accessories such as LifeProof, OtterBox, UAG, Incipico, Caseology, and Spec. Visit our West Hills location at 7115 Kingston Pike between Office Depot and Hardee's, or call 865-888-9740 and speak with our trained technicians to see how we can get your phone working today.
Hey Annie, you're the spokesperson for Toyota Knoxville, right?
That's right.
Why should I buy from Toyota Knoxville?
Are you looking for new or used vehicles?
Does it matter?
No, because Toyota Knoxville has over 390 new Toyotas on the ground and over 350 pre-owned vehicles available to choose from.
Okay, so big selection.
And a lifetime warranty at no charge on all new and select pre-owned vehicles.
A lifetime warranty.
A non-factory limited lifetime powertrain warranty with unlimited miles. Plus 30 years of experience in Knoxville, not just serving our customers, serving our community.
And the buying experience?
Hello, it's Toyota Knoxville. Read the reviews. Talk to anybody that's been there.
Okay. Where am I going?
Toyota Knoxville is at I-40 and the Lover Road exit. Go to Parkside Drive. You can't miss it.
Can I tell them Annie sent me?
I wish you would. If you're passionate about the car you drive, come meet the people that are passionate about the way they sell at Toyota Knoxville. ToyotaKnoxville.com. Warranty good at participating dealers.
Butch Jones replacing Philip Fulmer on the Jumbotron.
For what?
People getting drunk and stumbling into the wrong house.
For what?
Butch saying a chart told him to kick an extra point instead of going for 2.
For what?
People who break the law while breaking the law.
For what?
All right, it's time for What here in the Swain event. Fueled by Dead End Barbecue. Top 100 barbecue restaurant in America. Today's lunch special there at Dead End Barbecue is the kitchen sink burrito. Toasted flour tortilla loaded with brisket, pork, chicken, queso, tater tots, red, white, and blue slaw, fried jalapenos, and a spicy barbecue wing sauce served with chips and salsa. That is the kitchen sink burrito at Dead End Barbecue today. All right, guys, what do we have for what?
Kind of have a double for what all in one. This is from Newsweek. Here's the headline. It says, driver tests positive for every drug during police stop. So a guy was pulled over because of erratic driving. This was in Spain, in the town of Carcastillo, wherever that might be. A car was carrying 6 people, and the driver was pulled over for driving erratically. When he was tested for substances in his system, they not only found alcohol at an illegal level, they found cannabis, so weed. They found methamphetamine. They found cocaine. They also found opiates, which include heroin. So he had everything in his system. And really, I mean, that's a for what right there. And then you go out driving, but the biggest for what here goes to people that got into the car with this guy. What unless they just didn't see what this dude was doing over the course of the night. I mean, how do you conceal drinking, smoking weed, or ingesting it somehow, doing meth, cocaine, and opiates? And then you're like, yeah, I'll get in the car with this guy. Yeah. 5 of us, 5 people made the decision to put their lives in this guy's hands. Thankfully, he did not kill anybody. The police detained him, and he got his license taken away. They impounded his car, blah, blah, blah. He actually didn't get put in jail. He just got a fine, which is kind of insane to me. Way to go, Spain. What are you doing? But, yeah, for what goes to people, why are you riding in the car with this guy?
Yeah, that's smart.
Care about yourself.
I'm actually kind of impressed that the man was able to do so many drugs at once. That's an
in a way, yeah.
feat. But speaking of drugs, I'm kind of surprised that we did not talk about this on Monday or Tuesday, but I guess it was Friday night, and an Alaska Airlines employee stole a plane and later crashed it on an island. And now this is going on for what? Because it deserves a for what, but there's some sympathy in it because the man was suicidal and killed himself, and he put and while there wasn't anybody on the plane, he put a lot of people in that region of the country at risk. I mean, somebody who's not equipped to fly a plane like that could easily crash it whenever, wherever. And if you saw any of the videos, he was flying over neighborhoods, cities, towns.
He absolutely could have harmed people if he wanted to.
Yes, I mean, he could have killed a lot of people. So thankfully, there was only one victim, but basically what happened was that a Horizon Airlines ground agent stole a Horizon Air Q400, a turboprop plane that seats 76 people from the SeaTac International Airport on Friday night. For more than an hour, Richard Russell, 29 years old, flew over the Seattle metro area in Puget Sound, doing large loops and other dangerous maneuvers while talking with air traffic controllers. Russell was killed when the plane crashed on Ketron Island, southwest of Tacoma. So you just get it for what? For stealing an airplane?
For what? To me, in this situation, is the airport. How are you gonna let somebody steal a plane like that? How did no one look at, how did he get off the ground? Because I just know at airports, and a big one like SeaTac, if you've ever been there, I mean, it's not like it's a dead airport. It's the Seattle airport. Like, there's a lot of traffic there. Right. How does this dude get off the ground? Did he wait in line? And did an air traffic controller give him clearance, or did he just take over a runway? And
I imagine. Well, he worked there. He was an employee.
He did work there, and he was trusted.
He must have just stolen it.
But yeah,
like a car.
That absolutely is what happened. But just the security breakdown there is.
I'm reading
pretty incredible.
It really is, and I'm reading an article from Fox News that was published yesterday, and it says that U.S. investigators are working to find out how an airline employee stole an empty commercial airplane from the main airport. So they're still kind of working to figure that out. Got to just be.
I would like to know
a lack of security, I guess. Not enough people, maybe. I don't understand how an employee is able to do that, but.
I'm giving my for what to Terrell Pryor. You had joint practice between the Jets and the Redskins, they just had Terrell Pryor there in their wide receiver meeting room. He was a player. Short stint with the Redskins after his time there with the Cleveland Browns, but during the joint practice, you get trash talking from the DBs to the wide receivers. But I'm giving it for what not only to Terrell Pryor but to the New York Jets wide receivers. Because there was a rep that took place in the end zone. It was a fade route. The ball was incomplete. And the Washington Redskins DBs were jumping around, high-fiving, talking trash. And then one of the Redskins DBs, DJ Swain, walks up to Terrell Pryor and jumps at Terrell Pryor, kind of faking like he was going to hit him. And Terrell jumped so hard. For what, Terrell? You got pads on, man. Look, what is he gonna do? Hit you? He's not gonna hit you. So why are you jumping? The second for what is, where are the New York Jets wide receivers? Where are your boys when you have a group talk trash to your player as a member of the other group? You're supposed to stand up for your guy. Nowhere in that shot did I see the New York Jets wide receivers come to the defense of Terrell Pryor. So I'm more so giving it for what to the Jets wide receivers than Terrell Pryor. But come on, man, what you jumping that hard for, man? You got pads. He ain't gonna hit you.
I get it. I do. I'm one that kind of gives Terrell Pryor the benefit of the doubt because, and you can call me soft all you want, but I flinch at literally everything. I can know that is coming, and I will still flinch. I just flinch at everything. It's not because I'm like scared that he's gonna hit me or something. I'm just my reactions. I just flinch at everything. I flinch at noises and people like doing motions at me. Even if I know it's coming, I flinch. So I kind of give Terrell Pryor
the video.
I did see the video.
You see how hard he reacted?
It was a hard flinch. I will say that. But I kind of give him the benefit of the doubt, knowing that I flinch at
like that.
It's not that.
Yeah, that's the for what.
Not that, but I've never been in that situation.
The degree of the flinch from Terrell Pryor is why he's on for what.
I just don't know how. Honestly, I might have done that. I've never been in that situation. I don't know how hard I would have flinched. I'd like to think that I wouldn't flinch. I would like to think I'd be like Kobe Bryant in that video where the inbounds passer is just like throws the ball at Kobe's face and like a pump fake, and Kobe just. I'd love to think I would do that, but I literally flinch at everything. I couldn't contain myself. I kind of didn't like the way DJ Swearinger was coming off. I thought from a certain standpoint, you kind of appreciate it.
I love it.
But then like, why are you running your mouth? Let your boy run his mouth. Let your boy who broke up the play run his mouth. Although I did think after, I don't know if you saw this, but after practice, the media was talking to DJ Swearinger, and they kind of asked him about it, what he was saying to Terrell Pryor before he flinched, and he said that I was just letting him know that the Redskins, we don't find him important enough to defend him with a corner. We put safeties on him.
Ooh, I like it. Hey, Terrell Pryor used to be on that team, so he used to battle every day probably in one-on-ones. And so let him talk trash. I think it builds camaraderie inside that room with the DBs. That's a part of fall camp. It happens. You know, if you look at the Jarvis Landry play from yesterday where he gets up and throws the ball at the DB and they get into a fight, if you're sitting there, you're judging, Jarvis Landry, you just don't understand football. That goes on. It's the DB was a little extra. You want to take care of your guys. You want to keep guys off the ground. And the DB was a little extra with his during that play. And so Jarvis Landry wanted to let him know how he felt about it. Fights happen. It's a part of it. There's no one's wrong. It was a great fall camp moment there with Jarvis Landry. All right, we'll take a break, and we'll talk Tennessee recruiting with Austin Price of VolQuest coming up after the break. Hour 3, powered by Low T Center and lowtcenter.com.
Hour 3 of the Swain event is brought to you by the Low T Center and lowtcenter.com. Do you know your numbers? Feel like you again. Let us help.
VFL's Jason Swain and Todd Kelly here with our Men on Football and Smoothie segment. Let's discuss some of our favorite smoothies and how they impact our lives. TK, man, tell me which smoothie comes to mind when you think about playing defense.
Swain-O, the Peanut Butter Power Plus and the Power Punch Plus provide the energy needed to make plays every time they take the field. Then you have the Gladiator and the Hawk, nutrition every dominant player has to have. Bottom line, everyone wants to be a dominant player. Now, Swain, you tell me about the offensive side of the ball.
TK, it's simple. You always score with Smoothie King. The shredder personifies what we are going to do to opposing defenses. The Berry Punch and Activator will light up the scoreboard. And in case we need to go into overtime, the Pure Recharge will put us over the top for the win.
Swain-O, you know I love football and Smoothie King. I'm a VFL, a Smoothie King for life. The Chocolate Gladiator and the Chocolate Shredder with the scoop of peanut butter, oh, that's my go-to smoothie. They get a chest bump all day.
Yes, sir. This concludes our Men on Football and Smoothie King segment for today. Don't forget the Sip by Sip program. Use Smoothie King as a meal replacement 5 or more times a week, and you'll feel and see the difference. Smoothie King, the healthy alternative to fast food. Delicious and nutritious. TK.
Don't forget the peanut butter. Yeah, boy.
Gentlemen, when it comes to health and quality of life, there are numbers every man needs to know, including our testosterone number. I recommend going to Low T Center. They make it quick and easy to get your levels checked, and it's covered by most health insurance. Low T levels can make you feel tired and grumpy. It can raise your cholesterol, cause weight gain, and loss of muscle mass. Low T Center's physicians specialize in treating low T in men. Listen to me here. They know men's health and are reinventing men's health care. Call 865-392-1388 or go to lowtcenter.com.
You're driving home, flashing blue lights in your rearview mirror. You pull over, step out of your car, and the next thing you know, you're being arrested for driving under the influence. Now what do? We all should be responsible, but remember, just because you're arrested doesn't mean you're guilty. Call criminal defense and DUI attorney Marcos Garza at 865-540-8300. The investigative teams at the Garza Law Firm know the justice system inside and out. They utilize cutting-edge technologies and investigative methods to prepare your specific case. Before you plead guilty to any criminal charges, call criminal defense and DUI attorney Marcos Garza. Put his number in your phone right now, 865-540-8300, because you never know when you or a friend will need it. Don't say guilty. Say Garza. 865-540-8300. 865-540-8300 and GarzaLaw.com.
Get ready for a better school year by shopping the Back to School sale at Better Mattress happening now. Whether you're a parent or a student, you know a good night's sleep makes a difference in your day. Whether it's the patience to sit in school traffic or the concentration you need to pass your test, a better night's sleep is super important for the whole household. Right now, choose a twin, full, or queen bundle deal, all starting at just $379. The Back to School bundle deal from Better Mattress is everything you need in one stop for a better night's sleep. Get a mattress, box spring, frame, sheets, and a memory foam pillow, all delivered for free, starting at just $379. You choose the size twin, full, or queen, the price stays the same. We know one size doesn't fit all. Over a dozen different mattresses qualify for this offer. Have a better school year this year. Get the Better Mattress Back to School bundle deal while supplies last. Tell them Seth sent you and ask to try my mattress. Don't wait, shop now. Chat live with the representative at bedrmattress.com. Good night just got better.
All right, team, listen up. It's tailgating time again in Tennessee. But most importantly, team, you're going to need to refi that tailgate and the truck it's attached to with a refinanced auto loan with Alcoa 10 Federal Credit Union with their Got That promotion. They'll give you up to $500 for your debt.
Are you serious, Coach?
That's right, Johnny. Alcoa 10 will pay you up to $500 for your debt. Now, let's get out there and spread the word. Say it with me. Alcoa 10, Alcoa 10, Alcoa 10.
ATFCU is an equal housing lender.
For a replay of each day's Swain Event TV, like us on Facebook.
Swain Event, fueled by Dead End Barbecue, Hour 3, powered by Low T Center and lowtcenter.com. Joined by Austin Price via the B-Dry waterproofing hotline, bdry.com. Austin, good morning, man.
How's it going, Swain?
Ah, man, wonderful. At Austin Priceless on Twitter. My first question, you know, the video yesterday of Chris Bogle, we understand now maybe what's holding him back from Tennessee is him coming out and saying that, hey, mom wants him to be home, wants to be close to Miami. You have talked to Mr. Bogle. You followed recruiting. Sometimes the mother wins. Sometimes the kid wins. How are you feeling about Tennessee's chances with Chris Bogle now, knowing that publicly the world knows that the mom wants him close to home? I'm pretty sure the staff knew this all along. But what can you tell us about Chris Bogle?
Well, I go back, Jason, to when Tennessee recruited Derrick Henry out of North Florida. And he ended up at Alabama. It wasn't a hometown thing, but they had done everything they could do with Derrick Henry. You know, they ended up finishing runner-up to him, to Alabama. But then they got him on campus a ton. Same thing with Chris Bogle. Tennessee's done everything the right way here. I mean, they have been, steady. They've been, very much in the forefront of his mind the entire time. But at the end of the day, the kid's from Miami. He took his official visit back in April. He's been back a couple of times since then. He's trying to come back for the Florida game in September. But at the end of the day, you've got, that local team in Miami that's recruiting well, they're playing well, and Mark Richt has that program on the rise again, and so they pretty much are the favorite to get Chris Bogle. When he's come up here, he feels the good vibes. He wants to pull the trigger, and has tried to pull the trigger a couple of different times, Jason. But when he gets back home, the family, and it's not just his mom, it's his sister as well, are like, hey, we'd love to have you stay down here and play, and they pull at the heartstrings. And ultimately, I just think that's going to be a tough pull. I think Tennessee's going to be in it till the end, and maybe they end up pulling the shocker. But if you're putting a line on this one, you're definitely going to put Miami as the favorite.
We got Charlie Burrs here, Ben McKee in studio, Austin. I know Ben has a question for you.
Austin, where do you see the offensive line standing? I'm a big believer that kind of Tennessee's offense will go as the offensive line goes. Has the offensive line been a hindrance to this point in practice, or maybe has it blossomed into a real leader on the offensive side of the football?
I think it's better than where it was in the spring, but still not where it needs to be, and that's because Trey Smith is not cleared for full contact. Now, he's doing more and more. Yesterday, he was doing some light work. And I don't mean just, doing some medicine ball stuff. There was some light contact work on the side as they, get him off blood thinners and get him, ready to be cleared sometime, next week. Coach Pruitt said 19th or 20th, right around that time frame. That date's coming up quickly. And, Trey Smith's itching. He's going to be good to go. Physically, he's ready. It's just a matter of being cleared because of the blood thinners. Chance Hall, he can be the real dark horse in the offensive line because if he plays the way he looks right now, that's like $1 million because he looks better than he's looked in a long time the last couple of years because he couldn't work out because he had the bad wheel. He was just out of shape, and he got fixed. He got that new tendon in his leg, and he's ready to go. He looks good, but they're bringing him along slowly. I think the offensive line with Trey Smith and Chance Hall can be much more formidable than what we saw in the spring, and it gives Will Friend and Tyson Helton some options because do you play Trey at tackle? Do you play him at guard? Chance Hall really strengthens your tackles, which I think is where Tennessee's weakest because, frankly, I think they're really good in the middle. I think they're good at center. And then, I like Ryan Johnson. I like Jerome Carvin, at those guard slots if Trey was to play tackle. But, what can they get out of Drew Richmond? Can Drew Richmond finally take the next step? Because he's been underwhelming during his Tennessee career coming in as a 5-star. He's not played up to that 5-star ranking. Can he finally take the next step? All of those questions, if they fall Tennessee's way, means Tennessee's offensive line is pretty good and can really set the tone for the offense as you were hoping.
Austin, I got a couple questions for you here. First, we get asked this probably 5 times during every episode of the show every day. J.J. Peterson, anything new at all?
No. Still nothing new. Still waiting to hear. He's becoming a mythical figure at this point. JJ hoping to be here by the 24th is best I can tell you.
Hey, awesome, man. I've stopped trying to find out when this guy's coming because the date keeps getting pushed back. Yesterday we played the intro, and you remember this, Austin. You're not a spring chicken, but remember the series Where is Carmen Sandiego? And the intro music, I feel like we should do the same thing with J.J. Peterson. Like, where is J.J. Peterson? When is he coming? He's going to be behind, inside linebackers. You got a strong group there. He's going to be here at some point. But I have found myself stopped trying to figure out the exact time he's going to arrive.
The question is, Swain, has he become almost like the Loch Ness Monster, Bigfoot, and the like? I mean, he's this mythical figure that everybody talks about, but is yet to actually see.
Well, also my second question for you, and one that will probably be easier to answer, is what is your impression of the quarterback battle thus far?
I think this is Jarrett Garantano's show, and I know that doesn't sit well with some, and it sits, well with others. I mean, some people they want that big prototypical, 6'5", statue back there. And some people are extremely high on Jarrett. So it just depends on what side you land on. But, I mean, I think if you're a Tennessee fan, why do you care what side you're on? You just want somebody that's going to produce and win football games. And I think that's Garantano. I'll be shocked if he's not the quarterback. He continues to do, really well in practice. And at the end of the day, it offers the most upside. We've talked about it on this show before. I've talked about it on VolQuest. At the end of the day, if you're a Tennessee fan, you should probably want Garantano to win the job, because if he doesn't, then it brings into question about him sticking around. Does he want? I mean, would he want to stick around? Most people would say he wouldn't. I'm not going to put words in his mouth because I'm not talking to the kid. I don't know, but I mean, just common sense tells you if he doesn't win the job, he's probably going to look for a new place to play football. And then, Keller Chris is gone at the end of the year, so then you're left with Will McBride, who I'm not sure they're real high on, and then J.T. Shrout, who, again, at the high school level threw about 25 interceptions a year ago. So while he may have a strong arm, he's still got a long way to go to be an effective quarterback in the SEC. So, if you're a Tennessee fan, I think you're kind of privately rooting for Jarrett Garantano to go out, take the bull by the horns, and win the job. And he's been really solid in fall camp to this point. He still has areas he needs to improve, but I think it's Jarrett Garantano's show. And I'll be the first one to say I was wrong if Keller Chris trots out there for the first play against West Virginia.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm willing to say the same thing, Austin, and I'm willing to say I'm wrong if Keller's the quarterback. Keller is experienced, and he brings a level of calm to the huddle. But Jarrett gives you more flexibility on offense, more explosive play potential. He has more upside. He's a better quarterback, just to be honest, right now.
Let's put it this way, Jason. I think, if you had the 85 Bears or 2000 Ravens defense behind you, it's one thing. But when you don't, you can't really just send the game manager out there that, you need a guy that can make a play.
Yep.
And I think the guy that can make the plays is number 2.
Exactly. I agree with you. Austin Price here on the Swain event. Austin from VolQuest. Let's get back to recruiting. There's been some rumblings about maybe some commitments in the next couple of days. Austin, I'm looking at the numbers, 18 total commitments, and there's about 3 or 4 or 5 guys that Tennessee's in good positions with that could commit any day. I'm not asking you to tell me who it is or anything like that, because I want to preserve these young men's moment. But as far as the number of commitments and maybe the time span we're looking at, anything you can tell us about, how many potential commitments we can be expecting in the next 30 days or so?
In the next 30 days, I mean, I could see a couple fall Tennessee's way. You're talking about really like the third week of September. But I mean, there are some guys that are fairly close. You look at a guy like Devin Bush. He's been tweeting about it on the Twitter. I mean, he's hitting hard at it. He's hitting hard at it. Obviously, Jaden Hill's a guy that everybody has thought was going to pull the trigger for a while, and he's continued to push it back and continue to push it back. Does the rubber finally meet the road there? He went to Florida last. Obviously, somewhat enamored with the Gators. I mean, if you follow his Twitter, not that tells you where a kid's going, but you can tell he liked what he saw in Gainesville. But Tennessee's always been in play there. They've been heavily in play there. I don't see. I think South Carolina seems to be fading in that recruitment a little bit. When a lot of people thought they were going to be the desired pick, probably about 30 days ago. And then Jalen McCullough is a guy that has continued to kind of push things off as well. When does he ever do anything? I think that's a question mark when you look at the recruiting cycle over the course of the next month. He started to say 1st of October, so he seems like he's outside that window, but we'll see. Trey Knox, same thing. He's going to do something October 1st if you go off his timeline and visit Tennessee officially for the Florida game, which is setting up to be a huge weekend both officially and unofficially. So, there are some guys over the course of the next 30 or so days that you can keep an eye on, some of which won't do anything in those 30 days, some of which may.
Austin, what do you say to folks that we had this phone call earlier in the week? You have Chris Winkie with IMG Ties. What do you say to people that expect for Tennessee to sign everyone in IMG. I mean, basically say, hey, we're going to clean house at IMG. What do you say to those people that have that expectation? It wasn't like Robert Gillespie was bad. He was a really good coach and developer. I think Pruitt feels more comfortable with Chris Winkie and his ability to recruit. But there's this expectation, I think, with some fans that Tennessee should have their pick of the litter when it comes to IMG because of Chris Winkie. What do you say to those fans that feel that way?
I don't know about pick of the litter. They probably should be more of a factor than they have been in this recruiting cycle. But there's no guarantee. I mean, when you go to IMG, you're recruiting against every top program in the country. And at the end of the day, Tennessee's still selling 4 and 8 and the dream. I mean, like, you know, that's – I mean, the fact that they've put the class together that they've got right now is a really testament to this staff and to, you know, to their ability to have good relationships. Also, at the end of the day, Chris Winkie's not been the head coach at IMG in, you know, several years. I mean, he was at the NFL, he was at Alabama, now he's here. So it's not like, you know, he just walked out the door from IMG to come straight up here and he's got all these ties with a lot of these kids because, you know, when you look at the shelf life for a kid, like let's go like Tennessee's got a current commit from IMG, Chris Okporogane. How long has he been at IMG? You know, about 6 months. So, you know, a lot of these kids that haven't been there for 3-4 years, and that's how long Winkie has been gone. So while he may have ties to the school, that doesn't necessarily translate to ties to prospects. And so I think that they have to almost marry together a little bit. So I think that's a little bit overblown. Mm-hmm. He obviously has ties to IMG. That doesn't necessarily translate to being tied into some of the best players at IMG.
Austin, how can people get all their recruiting news and find out updates from camp? We are approaching scrimmage number 2, and that's really where the rubber meets the road. And I know Prue has been very close to the vest in his comments about starters and the quarterback, but I think they're going to have a great understanding of who will be some players they can count on in this second scrimmage as we are approaching game week here. So for all those updates, how can people get that from you?
Go to VolQuest.com. We've got a special right now where if you sign up for the year, which is about $99, you get $99 in team shop gear to buy some Tennessee swag. The War Room coming up on Friday. The podcast continually grows and grows. We're doing now 2 a week with the 4 of us, Brent Hubbs, Jesse Simonton, Rob Lewis, and myself. And, Jesse and I have our annual S&P stock report. We'll be starting that for the first of next week, and we'll be telling you whose stock's up, whose stock's down, and whose stock is stagnant. Swain, do you think your stock up or stock down or stock stagnant?
Is my stock up?
Your stock's definitely on the rise.
I think my stock is up, man. I think my stock is rising. That's just what I think. That's just what I think. At least I hope so. That's the goal here on the show is to try to outdo the previous show from before. I got an important question, Austin, before you go. Now we are approaching the locker room show this season, Sunday nights, WVLT. I'm the new guy on the set. A couple questions here. I just need to know, just for my personal reasons, are we gonna do any hazing? Are you guys planning on hazing me, like shaving my beard or dumping me in an ice tub or something crazy like that? I'm the new guy. Are there any hazing practices there with the locker room?
No, the way I look at it is that this is as much as I love Fred, this is a huge upgrade because I sit positioned right beside Fred, and Fred's with a heavy sweater.
Okay.
And so it was kind of like when you sit in the first 3 rows at the tank with Shamu. They always warn you're likely going to get wet. It was kind of that way with me. So I look forward to staying fairly dry. So there'll be no hazing.
All right. Second question before we get you out of here about this locker room show. Again, it's going to be on VOT, 9 p.m. starting on the 26th. Seating arrangements. So I'm just taking Fred's seat. We're not gonna move around. You're not gonna have me sitting right next to you or sitting right next to Mark or where am I sitting? Who's going to be sitting next to me during this show, Austin?
Mark will be on one end of the set.
Okay.
He'll be Troy will be beside of him, then there's me, and then there is you.
Okay, so I can see the flow right there. I can see the diversity mixing it in, not having me and Troy on one side of the set and you and Mark on the other side of the set. No segregation. So
No, we're all one, baby.
okay, good. All right, good, man. I think Jesse Jackson will be pleased with the seating arrangements on the show. All right.
That sounds good, Swain.
All right, Austin. Thanks so much, man. Appreciate it.
All right, see you guys.
All right, see you. Austin Price, VolQuest. Yeah, I just need to know where I'm sitting, man. I need to know. I need to know.
Y'all gonna look like some Oreos sitting next to one another.
That's okay, man. Okay, we're preaching diversity on the locker room, so I'm pumped about that. The first show was on the 26th. I want to get into the Chris Boggle recruiting, man.
That's something.
It's
an interesting situation.
Looks like he wants to come, but families want to keep him home. And the positives, there's negatives. I want to share some perspective on the topic. So we'll do that coming up after the break. Swain Event.
Hour 3 of the Swain Event is brought to you by the Low T Center and LowTCenter.com. Do you know your numbers? Feel like you again. Let us help.
Top 100 barbecue restaurant Dead End Barbecue has a new slew of daily specials. Enjoy a different special meal every day, like the Chipotle chicken salad, the chicken tender sandwich, or the kitchen sink burrito filled with brisket, pulled pork, and chicken, not to mention queso, jalapenos, and more. It's called the kitchen sink for a reason. Dead End isn't stopping at your plate, though. Be sure to check out their new summer drink offerings, including the Big Orange Crush, My Clementine, or the Tequila Squirt. There is always something new at Dead End Barbecue. Located off of Sutherland Avenue, Dead End Barbecue. The summer flavor search is over.
We have all made the mistake of dropping or breaking our smartphones. See? But did you know that you can have it repaired for a fraction of the cost that it takes to replace it? Well, you can, because iDrop is the area's leading mobile repair store, home of the 1 hour or less phone repair, 1 year parts warranty, and #1 customer service. Broken screens, cracked cameras, charging ports, batteries, you break it, we'll fix it. If you didn't break your phone, protect it with one of our leading accessories such as LifeProof, OtterBox, UAG, Incipico, Caseology, and Spec. Visit our West Hills location at 7115 Kingston Pike between Office Depot and Hardee's, or call 865-888-9740 and speak with our trained technicians to see how we can get your phone working today.
Goes your car insurance. Nobody likes surprises, so switch to Erie Rate Lock. Get a great rate that stays that way even after an accident, ticket, or inflation. In fact, it's locked until you change a car, driver, or your address.
Your Erie agent in Knoxville is InsureFit RM. Get a quote at 865-684-4900. That's 865-684-4900.
Erie Rate Lock does not guarantee continued insurance coverage and is not available in all states.
JC's Tree and Landscaping Service specializes in quality tree work done at an affordable price. Trimming and removing trees are their specialty. They also offer other services like land clearing, stump grinding, crane services, and all of your basic landscaping needs for both commercial and residential. JC's will give you a free estimate and beat any written quote by a competitor to guarantee that you get the lowest price around. Don't risk your land with a fly-by-night service. JC's Tree and Landscaping is licensed and insured. Give them a call at 865-599-3799.
At work? Can't call in? Don't feel bad. You can talk to the guys on the text box. It's part of the free Swain Event app.
All right, hour 3 continues here at the Swain event, powered by Low T Center, lowtcenter.com. Reinventing men's health. Know your numbers and feel like you again. Let Low T Center help you there. 6 locations in Tennessee, Knoxville locations in Farragut. Larry and the crew do a great job at the Low T Center. Know your numbers and feel like you again. Energy, mental clarity, libido, all that good stuff. You can address that issue there at the Low T Center and let the experts help you. Everyone is kind of seeing that, let's try to do some, let's open up a Low T Center place, and let's open up a place and just start, doing testosterone injections. And there's leaders in the industry, there's leaders, and then there's other people who just do it just to try to jump on the train. And Low T Center, they are the leaders, okay? They're the leaders in the market, so make sure you trust the experts, the best in the business. That is Low T Center. So Chris Bogle, we asked Austin Price about. He is the highly rated defensive end rusher from Fort Lauderdale. Miami's really close. He spoke and said that his mom wants him to stay close to home. And it has me thinking about 18, you are at an age where you go from a boy to a man. You transition. And different situations calls for a player to need to stay close to home, or sometimes need to leave and go as far away as possible. I'll give you a couple different scenarios here. I remember there was a player out of Michigan State that out of state of Michigan. Michigan State was involved, and his parents wanted him to leave home and go as far away as possible, go to the best place because of the negative influences around him in high school. And so when you have a kid that's raised in a rough neighborhood, there's a crab in a bucket type of mentality, type of culture, you don't want your son coming back home every other weekend. If I live in Birmingham and I have a chance to go to Auburn, Alabama, but my situation at home is absolutely toxic, man, I don't know if I want my son being 45 minutes away or an hour away. Not only because he can come home, but then the people that are around him can travel to see him in school and potentially put him in situations that can affect his eligibility. You go out to the club and you got your boys from the crib with you, and they don't know how to act in social settings. And so they start a fight, and you're a part of it. That can affect you. And so sometimes it's best to go away from home so that way you can grow and develop into a young man. I think about, I got a couple cousins back in Alabama. My first cousin, small town there in Lincoln, Alabama, but he goes off to the Air Force or the Army, one of the two. But he experienced the world. He became a man when he returned. And sometimes you got to do that. Sometimes, yes, as a mom, as a dad, as a grandma, you want to see this young man. But sometimes it's best for him to get away from home and go experience the world and go become a man. So you have that scenario. There's another scenario where we saw where a 5-star player committed to Clemson was allowed to exit his LOI and go to South Carolina, which was actually closer to home because of a sick relative. I think there's certain situations, certain scenarios where it's best for a kid to stay close to home, and others where it's best for a kid to leave. I wonder where Chris Bogle falls into this equation.
It makes me think of the conversation that you had with Fred White on the Swain Event Plus podcast, because he really mentioned how getting away is what changed his life completely, because he said if he would have stayed at home, he was very, very close, and he tells a story, and everyone should subscribe to Swain Event Plus to hear the whole thing, because I can't tell like Fred did. But, told a story that essentially he was about to get in trouble with his friends, and his mom said, no, you're going to go to school early, and she paid out of pocket so he could go to school and get out of trouble. And he said that saved his life. That's how he phrased it. And so sometimes it can be really good. Obviously, I don't know if that is the situation.
Yeah, we don't know.
With Chris Bogle, but
we don't know.
But I mean, you can't understate that enough. That in some particular situations, like getting out and seeing the world can not just change you and make you grow, and you build relationships with people. But in Fred's case, it in his words saved his life. You never know.
The scenario that comes to mind when I think of Chris Bogle getting, I don't know if blowback's the right word, but his family's definitely trying to keep him home in Fort Lauderdale. The scenario that comes to my mind isn't that he needs to get away from people. I don't know his friends. That may be the case. It may not be. We don't know his group of friends. We don't know kind of the situation that he's in high school. But if I had a son that had the opportunity to go play football at Miami or at Tennessee, and I had zero ties to either school, I would want him to go to Miami for the simple fact that it's a 45-minute drive, and I can go see my son play at least eight times a year. At Tennessee, if you're a family that doesn't have a lot of money, you may be lucky to get up there for one game. So I think that's the scenario. That's the first scenario that comes to my mind if we're not taking into consideration maybe he does have some friends he needs to get away from. And again, we don't know that, but it's easier for the parents and the sisters and the aunties and the uncles and all the family to go see him play at Miami versus where in Knoxville, that's probably a 12, 13, 14-hour drive. And you would be lucky to make it up there for one game during the season. And really your best chance at making it to a game is when Tennessee plays at Florida. I guess if Bogle came to Tennessee, that would be his freshman and his junior season. So I can see why the parents or the mom is maybe wanting him to go elsewhere, closer to home.
I mean, I totally understand it. And, everyone has their own reasons, their own advantages, disadvantages to a school. I remember when, and this is not recruiting, but remember when Vic Warden decided to transfer, in the best possible situation for Vic Warden was to go across the country. That was the best situation for Vic Warden, was to go to Cal, be in that offense, and thrive.
He's done well.
That was the best situation. And as a parent, and again, I'm not trying to tell Chris Bogle's mom what to do because I understand wanting to see your son and have wanting him to be around. I just think this is a really good conversation, and there's been so many examples of players choosing to stay home or leave for different reasons. And as a parent, at least my goal is to put my kids in the best situation to be successful and to help them develop into productive women, productive citizens when they are grown. And when you are looking at schools, you're looking at colleges, there's sometimes situations where your son needs to go away from home. He's always been in a certain area of the country. He's never left the state or never left the city. He doesn't know anything about the outside world. A lot of these players sometimes they haven't seen anyone of the opposite race until they get to school because they're in this bubble. And so when they get to school, there's a huge culture shock. How about the young man that growing up in the house, mom and dad are marijuana users. So it's not a big deal to him. And so when he gets to school, okay, mom and dad smoke a little weed, then I'm going to smoke a little weed. That's the culture that I'm used to. But you just can't do that at college football. And then you find yourself getting in a ton of trouble where, well, I didn't think it was a big deal because my mom and dad did it. So sometimes it is best for you to get outside of that bubble, but sometimes it's best for you to stay home. I don't know. For me, I remember going through this recruiting process, and I put teams on the list that I thought I could achieve my goal at. And distance was not a problem, because I saw myself in 3 or 4 years living somewhere else anyways and not having any influence on that decision. If I want to play in the NFL, I could be drafted by Buffalo. I could be drafted by Arizona, Seattle. I can go anywhere. So I might as well get used to going away from home. If I'm going to be a better player, better man in Alaska, then that's just where I have to go. And let me remind people again, I'm not telling Chris Bogle what to do, what not to do, not saying the mom is trying to do this, try to do that. She's a mother. She wants her son around. She wants her son close to home. Totally understandable. You don't know the situation. You don't know if dad's around. You don't know that. So when you don't have a father in the house, the son and the mom, they grow extremely close. So we don't know the situation. I just think it's a really interesting conversation to have, especially that publicly it's been stated that she wants him home, which gives Miami the edge. And you're going to be a better young man playing for Mark Richt because he's an outstanding man. He's amazing. I love me some Mark Richt. But I can speak from experience that when you go to a place, your heart's going to tell you what to do. I mean, that's period, point blank. Your head can tell you, hey, man, I like this place. I like this depth chart. I like these coaches. I like these teammates. But you're going to pick that school based on what your heart tells you. So what happens when your mom is telling you one thing or your dad's telling you one thing and your family's telling you one thing, and that's your head? But what happens if your heart doesn't necessarily agree with what your family wants you to do? Those are tough decisions that are made. If you don't believe me, go back to the Landon Collins announcement from years ago where mom wanted him to go to LSU and he wanted to go to Alabama. Obviously, he made the right choice. He's a great player. He would have been successful regardless. But mom wanted him at LSU.
Just this season, you had Jacob Copeland, 4-star receiver.
Exactly.
I believe his mom wanted him to go to Florida State, and he ended up going to Florida.
Yeah, mom did not want him to go to Florida because she walked off the set. But you had someone in the background rocking Tennessee. You had some people in the background, rocking Alabama, and they had different views on what they wanted Jacob to do. Jacob Copeland, one of the top receivers in the country last year, and he went to Florida. So for me, my uncle said, you're going to be playing. You're going to be going to class. It's what you're going to be doing, so you need to make the decision that's best for you. And I've done my job for 18 years, preparing you, showing you that you need to treat people with respect, that you judge a man by his character, not by his skin color or anything else, that being a good person matters, that you better have a work ethic. Those are things that he taught me that regardless of where I would go, I would figure it out. He said, it's your decision. Now, my great uncle, Air Force, Army, been everywhere, been all over the world. And so he understands the importance of growing and how seeing the world helps you do that. Got about 7 minutes left in today's show here on the Swain event. I want to take a look at the text box and Facebook Live comments before we wrap up today's show. So, Ben, you take a look at the Facebook Live comments, and Charlie and I, we will take a look at the text box. Anything that stands out, guys?
I am pulling Facebook up as we speak because earlier in the show, Facebook decided to crash on us.
Yeah, that was my computer that froze up, and so that's what happened.
Because technology is not fun.
Sometimes.
Well, Nacho on the topic that we're talking about, he said Tennessee should just pull a Bama with Tua Tagovailoa and move Chris Bogle's family to Knoxville.
Let's do it.
I agree with that.
Whatever it takes.
Let's do it.
I like it. Pam asked on Facebook which game is the 98 team being honored.
Florida game.
She wants to make sure that she is there. Like Swain said, it is the Florida game. And I thought that the T. Martin conversation was interesting earlier. I think that any fan that has a problem with T. Martin deciding to go watch his son play, likely the only time he's available to go see him play, needs to look at themselves in the mirror and kind of rethink some things. It's the same. It's kind of the same as we hear every Friday or every Monday that, oh, my son has a Little League baseball game or my daughter has a Little League softball, soccer game, and I have to record the game and watch it later. Family comes before Tennessee football, and a family becomes before Tennessee football for fans and for former players. And in that situation, I would be disappointed in T almost if he didn't go see Amari play if he has that opportunity.
Yeah, Gene Chizik walked away from being defense coordinator in North Carolina to spend more time with his kids who were in high school, and he didn't want to miss those moments. He missed enough moments, and he didn't want to miss any more. So I totally understand that. So to me, it's not even a option.
No.
You know, if I'm T. Martin, I am going to see my son play. I'm going to see my son play. No, I mean, no questions asked, not even thinking about it, no hesitation. You know, I will record a video, and Tennessee can play it at the game.
Yeah, that's your solution.
That's
right
what That's what I would do.
Yeah,
I'm going to see because Amari's from Knoxville, and so Amari has lived with his mother and stepfather, and they have done an awesome job with Amari. So T hasn't seen Amari and his sister. They're twins, so he hasn't seen them as much as I'm pretty sure he would like to see them. So now you have opportunity to go and see them when you're playing on a Thursday. You could just fly into Atlanta because Clemson's playing Georgia Tech. Man, I'm making a video. I'm going to see my boy play. That's what I would do. But I brought it up because I can see in the future this being a topic. I just want to go ahead and plant the seed now that this is probably going to be a potential conversation that we're going to have Florida Week.
We've got some former Vols on Facebook dropping in some comments. Gerald Riggs Jr. says, the strength staff, no matter what, is responsible for what happened in training or as a result thereof. It comes with the job. Safety is always first.
Yeah, at Maryland?
Mm-hmm, for sure. And then Cedric, real quick before you comment on that, Cedric Houston says, be glad when I can get on the show again. ... Jeez.
You bet. Hey, Cedric, don't make me put you out there because you know you're supposed to be on a long time ago. You and Gerald. I'm calling both of y'all out. Y'all supposed to be on the show, but y'all ain't been on. That ain't on me. I'm pointing the finger back at you. I'll call y'all. We'll make it happen. This thing in Maryland is sad. I mean, it really is. When you send your kid to school under the care of coaches and staff members, and medical staff is so important. And there's a lot of guys walking around in America that still have limps, may have a shoulder, may have a arm or ankle or knee or whatever because of some misdiagnosis. And they should be checked. They should be held accountable. And the worst possible thing happened because of negligence, and that was the loss of a life. And it's hard to put blame on one area and only have it there. Obviously, the medical staff failed in every protocol that they're supposed to follow. Everyone's accountable. Everyone dropped the ball. And I will say that the president of Maryland stepped up and handled himself well and owned it, taking legal and moral responsibility for what happened there in Maryland. It's a tragedy. It's really sad when you think about it. Swain event, fueled by Dead End Barbecue, top 100 barbecue restaurant in America for Ben McKee and Charlie Burris and Jason Swain. Hope you have a great Wednesday. We will be back same time in the morning, 7 a.m. Peace and love. We're out.
Hour 3 of the Swain event is brought to you by the Low T Center and lowtcenter.com. Do you know your numbers? Feel like you again. Let us help.
There's a 20% chance of rain today.